The world has always belonged to those who dared to see what others could not. Look at the skylines, the engines, the bridges that span across rivers like veins of human determination. None of these existed until someone thought them first. Every fortune, every empire, every invention that reshaped civilization began as a seed in the soil of the mind. The airplane was once a ridiculous idea. Electricity was once invisible magic. The internet, once fantasy. But thought, when fused with belief and disciplined action, transforms into fortune. Not just fortune in money, but fortune in freedom, impact, and legacy. The tragedy is not that people dream too big, but that most never dare to dream at all. They shrink their lives down to the size of their fears. They measure their potential by yesterday's failures, not tomorrow's possibilities. And so, they wake up, go to work, come home, go to bed, and repeat the cycle until time itself erases their names from memory. Yet inside them, there burns a vision they never dared to unleash. That is the silent poverty of the modern age. The wealth of unused imagination, buried alive in doubt. But history does not remember the doubters. History remembers the dreamers who acted. Edison, who turned darkness into light because he refused to quit after 1,000 failed attempts. Henry Ford, who imagined not just a car, but a car affordable to the common man. Walt Disney, who saw castles in swamps and turned them into kingdoms that now define childhood wonder. Abraham Lincoln, born in a log cabin, facing defeat after defeat, yet carrying the vision of a united nation until it consumed his every breath. These were not extraordinary people. They were ordinary people who allowed extraordinary thoughts to rule their lives. The first law of success is invisible to the naked eye. Everything begins with thought. What you think about, you move toward. What you allow to dominate your mind, you eventually attract. The mind is not just a container. It is a magnet, a transmitter, a creative engine. The person who fills their mind with limitation will live a life chained by invisible walls. But the one who trains their mind to dwell on possibility, to visualize with clarity, to hold faith in the unseen, that person has discovered the true philosopher's stone, the ability to turn thought into fortune. Yet thought alone is not enough. Millions daydream, millions wish, but wishing is the language of the weak. Desire, burning desire, backed by unwavering belief, is the fire that forges empires. Napoleon Hill once wrote that desire, backed by faith, is the starting point of all achievement. He was not speaking in metaphor. He was revealing the very formula of destiny. When you mix vision with certainty, when you refuse to entertain the idea of defeat, the universe begins to rearrange itself in your favor. Doors open, people appear, opportunities align. It seems like coincidence, but it is not. It is the law of cause and effect written in the language of the spirit. But understand this, fortune does not come to the timid. It does not come to the hesitant, the procrastinators, the excuse makers. Fortune belongs to the bold, to those who step forward when others freeze. The Wright brothers were not the most educated engineers, but they had courage. Carnegie was not born into riches, but he had a relentless will. Oprah Winfrey rose from poverty, not because the world handed her success, but because she refused to let her past define her future. The path from thought to fortune is walked only by those who dare to discipline their minds, command their emotions, and take action with ruthless consistency. Clarity of thought is where the journey begins. You must decide with precision what you want. Vague goals create vague lives. A man who says, "I want success," will die chasing shadows. But the one who defines it, sees it, writes it, visualizes it daily, breathes it into existence. He commands his destiny. You cannot hit a target you do not see. Vision is not daydreaming. Vision is seeing the invisible with such certainty that it feels inevitable. That is why the greats move differently. They walk with conviction because, in their minds, the victory has already been won, long before the world applauds. So ask yourself, what do you see when you close your eyes? Do you see chains or do you see wings? Do you see the life you were conditioned into or the life you were created for? The mind will give you what you demand of it. Starve it with weak thoughts, and it will betray you. Feed it with clarity, with pictures of your future, with words of power, and it will serve you with loyalty beyond imagination.